Now let's say we are creating that advertising campaign for Nike and we already created that design before, maybe for indoor wall posters or even billboards. And now we need to take our ads online as well, maybe as web ads, those banner ads that you see online. So maybe you can be converting also our ad into animated GIF, something like that. Let me select our first frame and it's looking like that to attract eyes even better. Or even we can be converting that one into a video ad, maybe for YouTube ads or TV ads. So let me step forward. Here we have a video version from the same one, including audio. So let me increase volume a bit so you can hear better. This could be quite glitchy, but let me show you how it works. So we can be selecting our first frame. So that could be a very short video ad for 5 seconds, maybe for YouTube videos. Anyway, let me undo that and let's see how we can be creating that one from scratch. So selecting that file in here, which is our BSD file that we already designed before. So I'm not gonna be going through technicals how to redesign that file, how to draw that effect. You can see that one if you haven't in the course. And in order to animate our design, we need to be switching to motion workspace by going to window, workspace, and you need to be selecting motion, or you can be selecting timeline panel if you would like to have your timeline appearing. So let me zoom out a bit first. Command and minus or control minus to zoom out. So here we have in that drop down you can be selecting either to create video timeline or create frame animation, which will be creating later GIF files including simple animations. So selecting that one and clicking that button in here, create frame animation, selecting that first frame and clicking duplicate frame. So we have now a duplicate from the same frame in here. We can be making some changes to our second frame, which will be creating animation within our design. So maybe you can be hiding some layers in our first frame and keep them as they are in our second frame, or we can be transforming and scaling our elements. Maybe for instance we can be starting with a smaller background size in that frame and scaling that one up in the second frame will be creating a zoom in illusion or animation within our GIF file. However, now let's say we need to be creating that neon glitching effect within that word glow. So I'm gonna be duplicating that layer in here, Command J after selecting my layer or Control J. Now we have a duplicate of that layer. I'm gonna be disabling second duplicated layer and selecting our original layer, desaturating that one, Command Shift U, then moving to our second frame and enabling our duplicated layer. Now we can check how it looks like by playing that animation, clicking play animation. Now it's looking like that and it's too fast and it's too glitchy as well. Of course, if you like it like that, you can go and export that file or save it for web. However, let's work on our animation even better so we can go even further, clicking stop, and we can be pressing shift, selecting our two frames, then clicking that button in here for creating Tween's animation frames. So if we click that one, it will be adding in between frames to give us a smoother transition between our frames. You can add tween with selection, like our that case we are selecting our frames, or for previous frame or next frame. And also you can select how many frames you would like to add in between. And for layers we're gonna select all layers, and parameters we're gonna keep it as this, pressing OK. Now we have a transition between our frames. If we play that one, it's looking like that. Now it's looking better. However, we can work on our last frame. So I'm gonna stop that one. And underneath each frame, you can see that seconds in here and that drop down button where we can keep that one playing for 2 seconds. And all those frames will be going very fast. And now we can be playing that again. then it's gonna be repeated. Let's make it even only 1 second. Play. So it's gonna be stopping at the end for 1 second, then it's gonna be looped, and you can be selecting from here whether you would like to be looping that one forever or 3 times or only once, or even you can be customizing a specific number. However, now we can be adding even more frames to maybe show like glow like neon. So I can be selecting that frame, stopping that animation, and clicking that button once again. Now we have a duplicate of that frame that will be played for 1 second, and that one as well. However, we can be hiding glow word in here and searching for like. Here it is. Also, we need to be hiding that desaturated layer. Then we can be duplicating that one once again and hiding like and showing neon layer. So let's give it a play. You can go with that. If you'd like even to add some glitches to your neon effect, you can easily do that by first stopping our animation. Then here we have that frame in here, glow, a fully lighted one. We can be duplicating that frame and place it after our very first frame and keep it to 1 millisecond. Then we can duplicate that one once again and make it after that one. So you can imagine how it looks like by playing our animation once again. You can keep repeating the same step by duplicating those 2 frames to get some glitches at the very beginning of your animation, just like that one in here. If we play that one, now let's say we are happy with that animation and we need to be exporting that one. We can go to File, Export, then selecting Save for Web. You can be exporting as well. However, I'm gonna be selecting Save for Web as we have better options in here. Zooming out a bit. Also, we need to make sure that we have a small file size as it's gonna be uploaded online. So we can be scaling that one down 50%, and let's zoom in. Also make sure that you are selecting GIF presets from here, not JPEG, so that your file can be including animation. And you have some controls for quality, so you can be reducing your file size and also reducing quality for your GIF. So you can be reducing colors, for instance, or you can go with lossy. We have lossy at 0 now. You can be making it less, like that. It's so grainy and noisy. However, let's keep it at 0. And also here we have looping options set to forever, and you can play it in here to check your animation. Or you can be previewing that one by clicking preview. We have 1000 pixels in width, and also we have file size as well. Also bear in mind that we have slightly long animation, so this one is also affecting our file size. Maybe you can make that one shorter for a smaller file size if you're going after a high compression of your file. Back to Photoshop again. We can be saving that one, and here we have the option to save that one as images only or HTML and images, and I prefer to save it like that. Then clicking save. Now let's go and check that one. Here we have images folder, and also we have HTML file saved outside in here. If we scroll down, we can see that file by double clicking. So here's one more thing to do with our GIF. We can go back to our file, and of course we can be saving that one as well as BSD file. And we have here some other options for our timeline, like adding new frame, delete animation, or you can be copying frames as well in here. or you can be reversing frames, and also you can be optimizing your animation a bit by clicking that one for better web optimization of your file, or you can be flatten frames into layers, or even create a new layer for each new frame. However, now we are selecting new layers visible in all frames, and also you can be converting to video timeline instead of frames. And by selecting that one, we can be adding sound to our GIF or our video in that case. As you can see here, we have our layers on top of each others, and we have also audio track at the very bottom where we can be adding audio track, add audio, or we can be adding more tracks. So let's start first by adding audio. Here we have that glitch sound effect, which might be matching with our ad. And as you can see guys, that we have our audio file exceeding our layers time, as we have 30 frames per second, and total time for that animation will be almost 2 seconds. Of course, we can be extending our layers to match our audio length, or we can be reducing our audio file length. However, I'm gonna be reducing that one from here, as that glitch effect is existing at the end of our track. Maybe even more. Now we can be playing that one once again. Of course guys, here we have too many files within our PSD file, which might be too much for Photoshop to handle timeline, as Photoshop is not mainly for video editing, so this could be quite too much for Photoshop to handle. And if I want to add sounds or special effects to those animated layers, probably I will do so in Adobe Premiere for editing videos, and maybe adding some graphics and effects to our video using Adobe After Effects. So now in order to export our video file, we can be clicking that button in here to render video, or we can do so by going to File, Export, then we have Render Video as well, which is going to give us these options in here for name, and we can be selecting folder or creating a new subfolder. However, what's really important in here is selecting our format, and we need to keep it to H264 to create MP4 video file. And preset, we're gonna keep it as it is on high quality. You can be reducing quality or selecting from other presets, maybe YouTube 1080p. If you're going to use that one on YouTube, you can be selecting that preset. However guys, before you select that preset, make sure that your file dimension as well is 1080p or 1080 pixels for height, or 1920 pixels for width, or otherwise it's not gonna be matching your presets dimensions. So let's keep it as it is on high quality for now. And we have range for our rendering, either to render all frames, or you can be starting from some frames to end frames. And now let's render our video file. So let's check that one out. Here we have our file. So that's basically guys how you can be creating animation within Adobe Photoshop, as it could be very nice to use all these capabilities of Photoshop and utilize them within animated file or video file.